Hello, YouTube and Facebook. Thank you all for joining me on this edition of 5 Minutes with Chris. And as you can tell by the title of this video, how many genders are there in 2018? I mean, can anybody answer this question? I've been dying to know the answer. According to Tumblr, in the latest article on social media and the internet all over, there are 112 genders. Now, I am 20 years old. I always thought that there was only 2 genders for the first 20 years of my life, but shows you what little I know. Now, apparently these things, I'm not going to read all 112 to you, but what I will do is pick out the best ones, and I will come back, and hopefully you will all stay tuned. The first one on this list is anxi-gender. Now, a gender that is affected by anxiety. So technically, I identify as an anxi-gender because I am like this. I've always had problems with anxiety ever since I was a kid. You know, I never took medication for it, but you know what? This is what I identify as, so please accept me as who I am. I am an anxi-gender, whatever the hell this term means, however you say it, this is what I am, so please support me in this. Now, the next term on this list is boy flux. When one feels mostly or all male most of the time, but experience fluctuating intensity of male identity. So really, when you think about it, doesn't that just mean that you're a man that's either a woman or a woman that's either a man? I mean, I'm confused about this whole thing. I feel like I have a tumor growing inside of me. You know, every time I think about this kind of shit, it just makes me really just... It's depressing is what it is. I mean, people actually buy this shit. They actually fall for this. Now, this one has to be my favorite one of all. Hydrogender. A gender which shares qualities with water. So what the hell does this mean? I personally feel like this means that if you want to identify as a goldfish or as a fish of any kind, you can identify as that. You know, for example, if you want to identify as, let's say, the Little Mermaid, you could become the Little Mermaid and go swimming with all of your friends in the ocean, you know? I mean, people are actually sick enough to believe this kind of shit. I mean, I don't know about you, but this is going to sound really fucked up what I'm about to say, but I have to admit this. I would rather watch something on the news about how some guy in, you know, a lunatic is chasing people around in a McDonald's parking lot with a machete than to hear this kind of shit, you know? I would rather hear something that's more graphic and than hearing mental illness, you know what I mean? Or seeing mental illness in front of me. So the next one on this list is nanogender, feeling a small part of one gender with the rest being something else. So, I guess... You know, I don't even know. I guess maybe this means that you can identify as a woman, as a manly woman, or a womanly man, I guess. I don't know what the hell this means. A nanogender, I suppose it's like a little piece, maybe if you want to identify as like a pet or something like that. Like if you want to identify as your dog or your cat, maybe you could throw that into the mix as well. You know, I'm so confused with this shit. I really am. I don't know why people believe in this crap. I don't know why they're trying to, like, get laws and all passed that people have to accept this kind of language and these terms. I mean, it's fucking disgusting is what it is. Alright, the next one on this list is paragender. The feeling very near one gender and partially something else which keeps you from feeling fully that gender. So, in other words, this is basically telling you to stay the same gender that you already are, and don't even fuck around, you know? Just stay what you are and don't mess with anything else. I mean, you know, why would you want to be partial again, this is all complicated. This is all a bunch of complicated BS. That's what this is. The next one on this list is surgender, having a gender that is 100% one gender, but with more or another gender added on top of that. So what the hell, like... I guess maybe that means that, again, that's my theory about being a man-woman or a manly woman or a womanly man mixed with maybe an animal, you know? Maybe you're part manly woman with a goldfish or manly woman with a dog, you know? I don't know. This is I'm just trying to think their logic, like what they do. Now here is the final gender that I picked, vapogender, a gender that sort of feels like smoke, can be seen on shallow level, But once you go deeper, it disappears and you are left with no gender and only tiny wisps of what you thought it was. So meaning, you know, in my opinion, if you really want to be considered smoke, why don't you just light yourself on fire and end it all, be done with, you know? Get over this shit. I mean, it would make so much more sense to just make people light themselves on fire, and you don't have to deal with this stupid bullshit. I mean, you know, this is what social media has done. It just made this all... This is all the fault of social media, because people have too much time on their hands. They're creating these stupid genders, these stupid problems that we don't need. You know, all these other extra problems that society has to deal with because of these fucking nut jobs. And you know what? Honestly, it's ridiculous. So with all this being said, I thank you all for joining me. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I love you all, and goodbye, everybody.